Hello and welcome to this A Star to G briefing. I've been talking to teachers recently about lesson observation and their concerns about OFSTED. They've all seen the OFSTED grading criteria, which you can download from the OFSTED site, and they pretty much understand what OFSTED are looking for, but when it comes to putting it into practice in their classrooms, sometimes they find it difficult to know how to progress from a really good lesson to a lesson that OFSTED will consider outstanding. So the subject of the next 2 or 3 A Star to G briefings is going to try and delve a little bit into these questions. Let's start by looking at what makes a good lesson. A good lesson has to have a clear point and a goal that all of your learners understand. How you express that is in your exposition, the beginning of the lesson, the assignment brief, something you put up on the whiteboard. It has to be absolutely clear what's going to go on in that lesson. What are we there for? What are we going to do today? What are we going to learn? You have to have imaginative and well-prepared resources. And if that means putting in time to prepare those resources, to download materials, to produce printouts, and to have material on a virtual learning environment or prepared on the computer or as physical objects, examples of source material, then so be it. There should be a range of teaching and learning activities. That is to say, during your lesson, the 50, 60 minutes, or you might be in luxury and have a double, there should be a range of activities that go on. Sometimes you speaking, sometimes the students speaking, examples of work, pauses, interim reviews, a whole range of processes that make that lesson engaging and interesting and give it variety. There should also be a range of assessment techniques. Now we're going to have an A Star to G briefing that completely concentrates on assessment techniques. In fact, I think we'll need a few. But there should be a range of assessment techniques. What do we mean by assessment techniques? You could be looking at practical work and assessing it. You're used to doing that. You could be asking the students to present their work and talk about it. You could be asking your learners to look at each other's work. Now they're not assessing, but they're preparing the ground for assessment. You might use witness statements where other people tell you what your learners have done or what they've achieved. Again, they may not be the official assessors, but you can use their evidence to help with your assessment. So a range of assessment techniques. And you have to account for the differing abilities of learner in your group. And so the activities have to be appropriate to that range of differing abilities. And that means carefully planning your lesson to take account of that. Differentiation by ability is a critical element. Your enthusiasm and subject knowledge will shine through if it's there. And it's one of the key qualities that makes a good lesson good and makes a great lesson great and identifies a lesson as outstanding. Your subject knowledge has to be bang up to date. You have to be really confident about what you're telling your learners, and your enthusiasm must never flag. It has to be there from the minute the students come in through the door to the moment that they leave your classroom, your studio or your workshop. It's really important that every one of your learners knows how to improve and how to develop. What do they have to do in order to improve and in order to develop? And you're going to tell them that. It may be directly as an individual. It may be talking to the class. It may be communicated through the assignment brief. And it will certainly be reinforced by feedback, tutorials, assessments, and those processes which are a natural part of progressing the students. But they have to know. Pace, engagement, and challenge are the 3 keys that will make a lesson good. Pace, engagement and challenge. Now the list I've given you sounds demanding enough, but that's the list of qualities and criteria that make a good lesson. And what we're going to move on to next is understanding how to move from a good lesson to a lesson that Ofsted will consider outstanding. So I look forward to seeing you in the next A* to G briefing on outstanding lessons. Thank you.